The movie begins with voiceover, saying, "There are legends of people born with the gift of making music so true. Some music is so powerful, it can bring spirits from the past or future. In ancient West Africa, they're called griots. This gift can bring healing to their communities, but it also attracts evil." Clarksdale, Mississippi, October 1932. Sammy Moore arrives at a church, looking hurt, with claw marks on his face and holding only the neck of a broken guitar. Inside, his father Jedediah, a pastor, is deep in prayer. When he sees Sammy, he asks him to come inside and tries to comfort him. Jedediah tells his son to turn away from music, to follow God, and repent. But Sammy stays silent, holding tight to what's left of his guitar. While his father telling all this, Sammy experiences a vision where someone badly hurting him. The story then jumps back to one day earlier. Sammy's cousins, twin brothers named Smoke and Stack, return to Clarksdale after living in Chicago. They've stolen money from gangsters and are waiting for someone to arrive. Soon, a car pulls up and a man named Hogwood, a former Klansman, and steps out. He takes them to an old sawmill, the place Smoke and Stack plan to buy and turn into a juke joint for the black community. They give Hogwood a bag of cash and warn him, if he or any of his clan friends come near again, they'll be killed. The twins go to pick up Sammy, and together they head to a hidden spot by the roadside where they've stashed a truck full of alcohol, meant for the big opening party at the sawmill. Suddenly, a snake slithers out, but Smoke kills it fast. After checking the truck, Smoke says they should wait and open the juke joint next weekend. But Stack insists it has to be tonight. Smoke agrees, but says they'll need to split up. Someone has to guard the truck. So Smoke stays behind, while Stack and Sammy head off to set up the juke joint. Smoke starts the truck and drives into town to meet some friends. When he gets there, he spots a little girl and asks her to keep an eye on the truck. He tells her, if anyone comes near and stays too long, just honk the horn. He'll pay her 10 cents for every minute. She agrees, and he heads inside. Inside, he meets his old friend, Bo Chow, and his daughter, Lisa. Smoke asks for help with a sign and other things needed for the sawmill's opening night. But suddenly, the girl blasts the horn. Smoke runs outside and sees two men trying to steal the truck full of alcohol. Without hesitating, he shoots one in the back and the other in the leg to show he's serious. One of the men recognizes him and quickly apologizes, saying he didn't know it was Smoke's truck. But Smoke shoots him again. The people in town watch, but they don't panic. They know the twin brothers and respect them. Smoke walks back inside and gives Bo Chow some money to handle the men he just shot. Then, he says he needs someone to make a sign for the sawmill. Bo calls out to his wife, Grace, and she agrees to do it. Smoke hands her $14 for the job. Meanwhile, Stack brings along Sammy, who dreams of being a blues musician. Stack heads to the train station to find an older blues singer, Delta Slim. To get attention, they have Slim play a song right there, drawing a small crowd. At first, Delta refuses to take the job, but when Stack offers him some Irish beer they plan to sell at the party, Slim agrees to join. Just then, Mary, a childhood friend of the twins and Stack's former love, shows up. She's upset they never sent flowers or even a message after her mom passed the day before, a woman who was like a mother to them too. At the same time, Sammy meets Pearline, a married woman he flirts with and invites to the juke joint's grand opening. On his way back, Smoke spots his old friend Cornbread working in a cotton field alongside his wife, Therese. Smoke pulls him out of the field and hires him as security for the juke joint's opening, then drives off. Later, Smoke visits his estranged wife, Annie, who practices voodoo. She isn't happy to see him. When he offers her money to help with the house, she refuses, saying it's blood money. They once lost a child, which still keeps them apart. Annie tells him her voodoo has been protecting the twins all this time. As the sun sets, an Irish man named Remick, who is covered in blood, rushes to the home of a racist couple, Bert and Joan. He begs them to let him in, offering gold in exchange for protection from Injuns. They let him inside. Not long after, a group of Choctaw men arrive and warn Joan that Remick is dangerous. But she doesn't believe them and sends them away. After they are gone, Joan enters the house and shocked to find that Remick is a vampire who also bites Bert, turning him into vampire too. Before she can react, they turn her too. Meanwhile, the brothers open the juke joint and a big crowd shows up. But getting the place up and running cost them a lot of money. Stack and Annie talk to Smoke and suggest letting some people pay the entry fee with scripts instead of cash. Mary is also let in the opening without paying because she is Black Mother's daughter. Stack brings Sammy on stage to play. His music is deep and soulful, and the whole crowd falls silent, mesmerized. The sound is so powerful, it begins to summon spirits. Suddenly, Black musicians from different times and places appear inside the juke joint, joining the celebration. The building seems to burn with energy, but no one stops dancing. The powerful scene catches the attention of Remick, Bert, and Joan. The vampires come to the juke joint, pretending to be traveling musicians drawn in by the sound. They play a bit of music, trying to win their way inside. But Smoke senses something off and refuses to let them in, even when they offer to pay. But he still refuses. As they are about to leave, Mary steps in to talk to them, knowing the brothers need the money. They hands her gold money, but then Remick's eyes flash red, and he starts drooling. Realizing something's wrong, she pulls out her gun and turns to leave, but Remick suddenly flies at her, turning her into vampire too. At the same time, Cornbread steps outside to relieve himself, leaving Slim in charge of security. Bert and Joan distract Cornbread by mocking him and lead him away. Meanwhile, inside the juke joint, Sammy sneaks off with Pearline. He starts pleasing her in a private room, unaware that Smoke and Grace notice what's happening. Mary is let back into the juke joint. At first, she tries to seduce Smoke, but then turns her attention back to Stack. The two head into a room and start having romance. Meanwhile, trouble brews on the floor. One patron slashes another across the face with a razor after getting caught using loaded dice. Smoke steps in to handle it and tells Sammy to go get Stack. But Sammy feels too awkward to interrupt, so he hesitates. Smoke ends up going himself and walks in on a horrifying scene. Mary is biting into Stack's neck. Shocked, Smoke pulls out his guns and empties them into her, but she doesn't die. Instead, she stands up, furious, and promises to kill everyone before vanishing into the night. Smoke rushes to help Stack, but it's too late. He dies. Smoke and Slim quickly clear out the juke joint, sending all the guests home. Only a few remain inside: Smoke, Sammy, Annie, Slim, Pearline, and Grace. Just after the doors close, Cornbread shows up and demands to be let in. Annie senses something is off and tells him to leave the place. Cornbread then demands his wages, and when Smoke reaches his hand to give, Cornbread, now a vampire, to lunge at him, biting in his arm. Smoke reacts fast and shoots him in the face, forcing him to flee. Annie now tells them that they're dealing with vampires. Things get worse when Stack, who had died earlier, suddenly reawakens as a vampire. At first, he pretends to be fine and asks Smoke to open the closet door. Smoke goes to find a key to unlock the door, but Stack explodes out of a closet, but Annie splashes pickled garlic juice in his face, sending him running from the building. Meanwhile, the vampires outside start singing and dance, turning the rest of the guests, including Bo, into bloodthirsty monsters. A growing horde of vampires gathers outside the juke joint. Leading them is Remick, along with Mary, Stack, Bert, and Joan. Remick steps forward and reveals the truth. The brothers were set up by Hogwood, the Grand Dragon of the KKK. Hogwood had planned to send Bert and other Klansmen to kill the twins and everyone at the juke joint. Stack confirms the story, saying he saw the memories himself after turning. But Remick says he doesn't share the clan's racist beliefs. What he really wants is Sammy. He believes Sammy's music has the power to summon the spirits of Remick's long-lost people. Remick then offers the group a deal: become vampires, live forever, and escape the pain of racism and death. But when they refuse, they threatens to kill Grace and Bo's daughter, Lisa. Realizing there is no way to escape, the survivors prepare for battle, gathering stakes, loading guns, and hanging garlic. Grace boldly yells at the vampires to come inside. She charges at her vampirized husband Bo with a stake, setting both of them on fire in a blazing sacrifice. Slim cuts his own arm to lure a group of vampires away, drawing them into a trap. Meanwhile, Pearline is fatally wounded right in front of Sammy, leaving him devastated. The others fight fiercely, staking and blowing up the vampires one by one. Annie is bitten during the chaos. Knowing what's coming, she asks Smoke to stake her before she turns. With a heavy heart, he does it. Watching from a distance, Stack and Mary feel a flicker of humanity return as they react with grief and horror at Annie's death. Smoke and Stack end up in a brutal fight, while outside, Sammy tries to run from Remick. The vampire slashes Sammy's face, matching the scar seen earlier. But Sammy fights back, grabbing guitar and ramming the silver piece into Remick's skull. Just then, Smoke appears and drives a stake through Remick's chest. As the sun rises, Remick erupts in flames, and the rest of the vampires follow, burning to ashes with him. Knowing the clan is on their way, Smoke tells Sammy to run and save himself. Then he loads up with weapons and hides, waiting, as the Klansmen roll in, start shooting at them and killing. He even throws grenade to the vehicle to kill the men. During the shootout, he also gets shot in the gut, but he does not stop. He kills the rest, one after another. Finally, it's just Hogwood left. He begs for his life and offers money, but Smoke kills him too. As Smoke lies dying, He sees Annie's spirit and the spirit of their lost child. Meanwhile, Sammy returns to the church. His father begs him to give up music, but Sammy refuses. He drives north, with the guitar still in his hand. During the credits, we see Sammy in 1992, now an old blues musician, still playing. After his show, Stack and Mary appear, looking the same as they did decades ago. They smile and hug him. Stack says smoke didn't kill him that night. He told him to stay away and protect Sammy from the shadows. Stack knows Sammy's time is almost up. He offers to turn him into a vampire, so he can live longer and keep making music. But Sammy gently refuses. He says he's seen enough, and when his time comes, he's ready. Sammy picks up his guitar and plays one final song for his old friends. Before they leave, he admits he still has nightmares from that night, but also says, before the sun went down, that day was the best of his life. Stack nods. It was the last time he saw his brother, the last time he saw the sun, and the last time he truly felt free. In this way, movie ends here. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more interesting movie recaps.